English sheep here that goes, sod this, and just but they don't. Look, I mean, isn't it an amazing metaphor, amazing picture to show this kind of, everyone's going this way, this is what I'm going to do, everyone's going this way, this is what I'm going to do.
That's typical Swedish.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh dear. It would be typically English if there was a cup of tea here for everyone. And yes, anyway, cultural stereotypes. I say I like cultural stereotypes. So yeah, I was teaching my friends in Germany because despite it's a modern industrial country, they haven't got the basics of certain things like how to hew in a straight line. They just can't do it. Now, me as a British person, that's next to if I was a monarchist, that would be next to Queen and Country. Queuing is our hobby. You know, whenever you get a group of English people, they kind of initially start to form a line with each other. In Germany, it's kind of Darwinian survival of the fittest. They go, and they go for it. Old women, babies in pushchairs, pushed out of the way, and on it goes. And I deal with it in the English way, which is I show extreme anger. That's how we show extreme anger. And I don't do things like, and I genuinely do that, because that's all I know how to do. I can't show emotion, obviously. Apparently that's a Finnish thing, isn't it? No emotion. I saw, did you see the clip of the Finnish coach when they scored? I mean, how would you know? If that was anything, it was completely emotionless. How would you know that a goal would be scored? Well, anyway. And I just stand there, you're welcome, as they'll kind of push through and things. And it's kind of true. And twice in Berlin, somebody said thank you to me for letting them off the bus. And in both times, they said it in English. They simply assumed I couldn't be a German. How bad is that? You don't even, it's a stereotype, you don't even need to know what this man is, he can't possibly be from Berlin. Thank you, and then you kind of walk around. The reason stereotypes work is on the one hand, some of them have an element of truth, and on the other hand, they are generalisable, they generalise to make us feel quite comfortable. Finnish people like this, Swedish people like this, English people like this. It's not really true for any actual person. I mean, occasionally you see somebody who is the living reality of a German or a Swede, but normally it's just a general description that's mostly not true, but it makes us feel comfortable. And that's because our brains work that way. Over hundreds of thousands of years, our brains have evolved to survive. That's all it is. And that means we use very fast processes. Our brains, something like 97% of our decisions about people, about situations, are made without our conscious awareness. We just, bang, make that decision. Sometimes afterwards, we have to explain it, either to ourselves or to somebody else. An example I sometimes give is, if you fall in love with a man or a woman, all of the evidence shows it is an unconscious, emotional thing. So you just see somebody and you feel, that's the one for me. Now, when you go home to your mother and they say, what first attracted you to this person, you can't go, well, I'll tell you the truth, Mum, it was, you have to say, well, I'll tell you what, it's her sense of humour. That's what it is. That's called a post hoc rationalisation. After the event, looking back, saying, not consciously, how can I tell a story that makes sense to me and is consistent with my idea of myself as an intelligent person? And as an intelligent person, I can't say to you, the first time I saw Scarlett Johansson, I had this kind of surge of hormone that just made me want to leap onto the screen. I can't say that because it makes me sound like an animal. So I say, I don't know if you've heard her interview, she's a remarkably intelligent woman. That's a post-hoc rationalisation. So a lot of the decisions we make are actually made unconsciously, and then we put on top of it rational decisions. When you think about the food you eat, which way you go, it's based on almost like physical urges, physical feelings that are below the level of consciousness. We need to be aware of that. Because if I say to you, or you say to me, I've been coaching for 20 years and I know this, and you tell me something, we need to be aware that that might not be true. That actually what you've done is you've reproduced, you've just told me again, something that kind of feels right to you, or something that you've heard 30 years ago, and 30 years of reinforcing it has made you think this is absolutely true. Because coaches say crazy stuff, as you may have heard. I've had coaches say to me, I only have to watch a child pick up a tennis racket and I know if they're going to be a champion or not. What says to you that is obviously not true. Obviously not true. Dangerously not true. Because it means all of these other children who pick up in a slightly unusual way, they're not the champions. They're not going to be future champions. Now, somewhere along the line, this coach has picked up this bit of information, and maybe they've had a few successes. That's it. I know that to be true now. I heard David Beckham's coach I spoke to, and I said to him, you know, everyone says the moment you saw Beckham, you knew he'd be a champion. And yes. I said, first of all, in what sense is David Beckham a champion? He's not a very good footballer. But more importantly, is that true? And he said, yes, it is true. First time I saw Beckham, I knew he'd be a great footballer. Oh, wow, it's really surprising. He said, yeah, I've thought that about thousands of kids. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, I thought thousands of children would be great footballers. He says, Beckham just happens to be the only one who succeeded. That's the reality. One piece of positive information, that's all we need. I've got the solution. So in all these brain biases, you don't need to read these are some of the, you get a textbook on cognitive psychology or cognitive neuroscience. You get all of these things that are built into the brain that cause us hassle. Keep us alive in Africa 40,000 years ago, but you coaching cause you problems. For example, the egocentric bias is a fairly easy one, which is essentially that we tend to create ourselves as the centre of all the action in certain, and you think about your own players, that happens all the time, I think. But I'll tell you one example, give you one quick example about observation. A police officer was chasing after a villain. Now, I'm talking about observation because I think one of your jobs is professional observers. As a coach, hopefully you agree, part of your job, an important part of your job, is to observe your players. Therefore, your ability to observe is actually quite important. I think being aware that your ability to observe is actually not very good is worth learning, because none of our abilities to observe are particularly good. Policemen chasing after, two policemen in fact, police officers I think you said, chasing after a villain. A villain is a bad person, okay? One police officer catches one. The other police officer runs around the building chasing after this other one. As he comes around this side of the building, towards where he's just come from, the second police officer pulls his gun and shoots dead the first bad person. This police officer runs past them and captures the second bad person, arrests them, puts them in the car, and waits for the rest of the police to arrive. When the rest of the police arrive, the second police officer and the first police officer are both arrested. Because the first police officer for shooting dead a robber or whatever, the second police officer for not stopping him. The second police officer's argument was, I genuinely did not see him. I didn't see it. And the police said, you ran within 3 feet of a colleague pulling a gun and executing a bad guy. He said, I didn't see it. They said, you didn't hear the sound of the gun, you didn't see the pistol, you didn't see the bad guy dying on the street, you didn't call an ambulance. I didn't see it. He went to court and gave the same argument. And they said, the jury said, we don't believe you. And he went to prison for 12 years. Over time, neuroscience developed and basically suggested it's entirely possible to, if you're focusing on chasing somebody here, if I'm chasing you, everything outside my vision disappears if I'm really focusing. So it's entirely possible. They gave the evidence and the jury didn't believe it, so we went back to prison. The third time, they gave more evidence and finally the jury believed it. This man spent 10 years in prison. As far as we could tell, he didn't see anything because he was so concerned with chasing after this one bad guy, everything else developed. Now think about how that applies to coaching. where you focus on one player, but you make comments about all players. You talk about mistakes made by a small number of players, but you talk about all players. One of the pieces of evidence that was shown in the court, I'm just about to show you, and you can do it yourself, you can play along. So there you go. 97%, who knows how these things worked out, of decisions, probably more, are made unconsciously. For example, whether you're responding to me positively or negatively now, you might think is based on some rational, I don't know, I've never liked the English, or I don't know, whatever, Germans, Berlin, I'm sick of that. How can Berlin be the sexiest city in the world? Stockholm is, everyone knows that, and so on. But you're all wrong. You're all wrong. Because all the research shows that the decision was made far before that conversation you had with yourself. And by the way, talk to yourself is madness. So something happened below the level of consciousness. I hope most of you are thinking he was charming, I'll give him a go. I'll give him a chance to persuade us. Because if you did, you're like everyone in the world. It's a very rare person that sits there and consciously calculates something. Now, some of you may have seen the monkey experiment, or the gorilla experiment. Have you seen this experiment where, I can't really explain what it is without giving it away. Have any of you ever seen an experiment which is observing a group of people play? Can you put your hands up, please? Great, thanks very much. One of the interesting things to find in this experiment then is whether you see the twist this time, okay?
The monkey business illusion. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball.
Doesn't matter, okay. So,
The monkey business illusion.
can you please put your hands up if you saw the monkey? Hands up. That's brilliant. Put your hands down. Can you put your hands up if you have no idea what we're talking about? Okay, I don't believe you, but that's great as well. Can you put your hands up if you saw the whole background change colour? Ah, you see? All of you thought you were looking for a monkey, so you focused on the monkey, right? While the whole background changed colour. That's the observational bias. So those of you particularly vulnerable are those who knew what was coming. In a minute, an ape is going to walk across the screen. I'll show you again this week, it's quite interesting. See if you can see the whole background changes colour. In a minute. Wonders technology.
The monkey business illusion.
So,
Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball.
here we go. So as you know, we don't care about how many times the players in white catch the ball. But just for, I think it's 16 or something. Whatever it is, it's so important. Sorry, new way. Okay, they're going, and then you go, oh, there's the monkey. How clever am I? And the whole background changes colour. Yeah, you see the colour change? Okay, that's the observational bias. We can only really look very carefully or intently at one.
The correct answer is 16 passes. Did you spot the gorilla? For people who haven't seen or heard about a video like this before, about half missed the gorilla. If you knew about the gorilla, you probably saw it. But did you notice the curtain changing color where the player...
Anyway, get the idea. That's the point. The more intently you focus on something, the more likely you are to miss out everything else. Those people in the room who knew about the monkey observation problem were most likely not to see the screen change backwards. because you were actively looking